Hello, everyone. Welcome to Chamber Chat. My name is Carol Guess. I'm chair of the board of the Greater Houston Black Chamber of Commerce, and I'm glad that you're with us again today. We're here to give you information that you can use to grow your business even during this COVID-19 pandemic. We want you to come out much stronger than before we went into this pandemic. And today we have a very, very special guest with us, Mr. Marcus Bowers from She's Happy Hair. How are you doing today, Mr. Bowers?
Doing awesome. Happy Tuesday, definitely. Glad to be here.
Thank you. And it's a great day to be with the chamber and to be with you today. So thank you for being with us. And today we're going to be talking about how to use data to grow your business. Not just control it, but to grow your business. That's
Sure.
The main thing. Now, a lot of us are afraid of data. You shouldn't be afraid of data. Today, we're going to learn how it can grow your bottom line, how it can connect you with your customers better, and how you can use it right now during this time. So I'm going to introduce you, give you some background for Mr. Bowers. I bet you all didn't know this, but he's a comedian, and he wears many hats. He's also a globalpreneur. He's a community activist. He's a business leader, a public speaker, a proud veteran, an author, a teacher, a world philanthropist, and host of his own show called The First Amendment. And he is co-founder of She's Happy Hair, the #1 virgin hair supplier in the United States. He has multiple storefronts across the nation and an online store that ships worldwide, offering high-quality human hair extensions and hair care products and finance options. So you don't have to be upset about not being able to get that bundle right away. Cash down, you don't necessarily have to have it. Finance options are available, so keep that in mind. He's a Houston native, an engineer, a proud Navy veteran, and he served 4 years in the Navy. He earned a degree in business also from the University of Houston downtown. And he's very, very dedicated to his work. He notes that the Navy made him a mature person, and he took that maturity and opened She's Happy Hair with only $900 as an initial investment, grew it into a multi-million-dollar business without one business loan. So we definitely want to hear what he has to say today, and I think that is a great introduction for a great businessman. So let's get into these questions and hear what Marcus has to say to us about using data, and welcome him to Chamber Chat. So my first question is, when you talk about data to grow your business, what type of data should people be thinking about collecting?
Great question. I think every industry should be collecting a certain specific type of data based on their industry. But all industries need to be collecting the basics, and the basics are the names, the phone numbers, of course, the emails, maybe birthdays. It could be favorite product. It can be all those different things, but that's the basics of collecting the data. Once you start collecting a little bit more than that, then yes, it starts getting a little more crucial on your decision making. But you only make better decisions with the more data that you have. I'm here to encourage everyone to not just sit at home during this coronavirus, during COVID-19, and just like stuff, or just do it for the likes, or just follow somebody, or just do it for the followers. I strongly feel that right now during COVID-19 and during this coronavirus, while everybody's sitting at home with their phones in the palm of their hands, that's the one time that you should be growing your data. Not your follower base or not getting more likes, but really truly your data. And one way that I've been collecting data, the entire team, is we have a text in that allows us to collect data daily. And so our text in, which is the code HAPPY, text the word HAPPY to 888-111 for your chance to win free hair for a year. Now, anytime you want somebody to give a little something, or you got to give a little something as well. If you want to get a little something, you got to give a little something. And so we give our customers or potential customers around the world that we haven't met a potential chance to win free hair for a year. And that texting and those emails that we've been receiving and the phone numbers that we've been receiving and the birthdays that we've been receiving is only going to make us a better company. And so when it comes to thinking about what type of data you should be collecting, but the basics are what I just said. And I think it's important to talk about how to collect that data, because a lot of people automatically shut down in the store or during that transaction when you start asking for too much information. And so what I've learned and what we train our team with She's Happy University is that at the register as a customer, and while you're checking that person out, the first thing you want to ask for is not the name. The first thing you want to ask for is not the email. The first thing you want to ask for is the phone number, because that's the easiest thing to grab. Anybody can shout out 7 to 10 digits one time and you can get that right. But if they tell you their name or they tell you their email address, sometimes you got to sound it out, spell it out, be sure that the underscore ain't there, and all those other small things. And so we've trained our team to ask for the phone number first. After the phone number, you ask for the email. Strategically, the email is second. Why? Because most of the time, some customers or some of your clients will have their name in their email. And so if you get the email second, and now you got the phone number and the email before they even recognize that they're giving you information. By the time you ask for the name, now they're like, hey, hold on, what you doing? And it's cool, you know, it's cool. By now, I already got your phone number, I already got your email, and if your name is in the email, I don't need your name anymore. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna add that later when I go and do my hygiene and scrub out my list. And so I just think that it's important to know there's a strategic way of gathering information, and only you know what information is important to your business and what's not.
Right, right. And so when you're collecting the data, is there anything that the businesses should be aware of as far as notices regarding spam or, you know, getting off of a listserv or whatever the case may be? What should
Yeah.
they be thinking about?
Yes, I think your data is very important, and you want to make sure that it's pure and that you have customers that are a part of your list that want to be there. That's why when you're collecting the data, a part of your automated system, depending on the software you use, is going to have all those small prints. Everything that's going to let that customer know what they'll be expecting. Hey, you might be expecting 4 text messages a month. Hey, you might be expecting 7 to 10 emails a month. Whatever that's going to look like, they're going to see that. And if that's not what they want to see, they're going to opt out. But most of the time, when you're giving a customer something free, whether it's information or any type of care, they don't mind giving you a little information.
Right, right. Okay. Those are all some good and very, very important tips. You all are learning from a master today. So make sure that you have pen, paper, phone, whatever, and capture all these notes from this marketing genius. Okay, our next question is, sometimes the customers we want are not actually the ones who are patronizing our businesses. How can gathering data help business owners to identify their ideal customer?
I think only you know what your ideal customer is. If you don't know, there's only one way to find out. You know, you actually have to go out there and see who's responding to your product. You know, you can't always pick and choose who you want your customer to be. I chose to jump into an industry where I don't want to meet my customer. I want my ideal customer is one that I don't have to meet, one that I can go online and swipe the card. Right now, during this pandemic, I got a chance to see a lot of businesses, some fold, some not do so well, and some may not be coming back, all because they weren't collecting data the entire time. I think that if you were collecting data and building up your database and talking to your customers, your clients via newsletters and whatever that's going to look like, then they're more likely to swipe the card even during the pandemic. But if your physical business is just in the retail space as far as like out in the world, then yeah, you definitely got to adjust and figure out how to start making money online. So again, my ideal customer has always been one that's everywhere. People ask me all the time, like, what type of business, you know, should you jump into or would you jump into after hair? And I always tell them that I want to jump into an industry where as soon as I walk outside my house, I can see a customer. I don't want to have to find my customer. I don't want to have to fly to go get my customer. I want my customer to be somebody that needs tires, a toothbrush, or some of the basic necessities that we all need. We just so happen to be essential as far as She's Happy Hair. You know, the government didn't assume that we were a hot commodity or that we were essential to our customers, but we are. We're very essential. And knowing that, you know, we're still open and we're still rocking and rolling right now.
It's, I think it sounds like what you're saying is that the business owner needs to take the time to figure out who their ideal customer is. And I think probably many of us in business just haven't done that, just haven't taken the time to figure out who the ideal customer is. So whomever your ideal customer is, sit down, think about that, write out the characteristics, and then go from there.
So what I did was initially when we first started selling the products that we sell, we were just posting them on Instagram, posting them on Craigslist. We were just meeting people in parking lots. And when you're posting something with the right hashtags via social media, your customer will find you. It's up to you to go do your research and figure out what hashtags are dominating your industry. And once you find that out, start piggybacking those until you create your own. Once those customers see that you got the same product, they're going to inquire about it. They're going to DM you. They're going to comment on you, whatever post you had. And instead of you just responding with the answer, respond with the invoice. I don't want to have too much conversation with you about how awesome my product is. I want you to know it's awesome, and then I'm going to see you that invoice. And I think that's one of the best ways to find your customer. If they are converting and they swiping on that PayPal, then that is your customer.
Absolutely right. A paid customer is a true customer. That person can be counted.
For sure.
Okay. How can business owners use website tracking data to give them insight into their customers and potential customers? Is that something that you all have employed in your business?
Of course. Again, she's happy. You know, we're more than just her. I think the whole team, we have such an awesome team. And a lot of people see what we do physically from our stores, but we're the Amazon of hair, you know, and I think it's important to know that your website matters because that's your store, your online store. If they can't walk into your store physically, when they log into your website, that's them walking into your store. And if they walk into your store, they see misspelled words, or they see grammatical errors, or they see that you don't care enough about your the photos of choice to represent your homepage, then they're less likely to shop with you. So if you go to a She's Happy page, you'll see that it looks like an awesome online store. So knowing that, you definitely want to make sure that you are getting the back data of what we use, like Shopify. You know, if you have an e-commerce, Shopify is one of those great merchant e-commerce sites that you can use to plug into your site. And once you have that, it's going to give you all the data you need. It's going to tell you what the customers are purchasing most of, what the customers are not purchasing most of, what you should be purchasing more of. It's going to give you all that information, including keywords. One of our biggest keywords that's searched on our website is a Brazilian body wave. And of course, that's what we sell the most of. And of course, that's what we have the most in stock. So it's just knowing where to put your resources so that way you don't have things just sitting on the shelves collecting dust like some of these beauty supply stores.
Yes. We do not want anything collecting dust. And so I hope you all are seeing how important data is and how it can be utilized in your business to really help you streamline, get rid of products that don't work, get rid of services that don't work, because those are the ones that people don't demand, right? The ones that sit on the shelf and collect dust. I mean, data can tell you that. So this is really good information. Okay, what are some of the other ways that a business can go about gathering data besides a website?
So the website, that's the easy part. You know, people are there, they're normally typing in data anyway. I think it's best to always be seen. You know, expos, people go to expos expecting giveaways. And again, if you give them a little something, they'll give you a little something. And if they give you, what they're giving you is more valuable than what you're giving them. What they're giving you is a chance to be a potential customer forever. And what you're giving them is probably a wristband or a chance to win something. And so I think, you know, again, once you go to an expo, you get a lot of chances, a lot of ways to kind of grab information from there. There's different websites that you can use, different softwares, Mobile Storm, Slick Text, MailChimp, Constant Contact, so many opt-in formats that you can actually put on an iPad because technology matters too. A lot of times you go places and all they have is a piece of paper and a pen telling you to put your name, number, email. Hey man, don't nobody want to do all that. But if you have that iPad with that same question on there, asking for that same information, people are more likely to do it because you look more believable as a brand. There's so many ways to get information. One of the biggest ways that we've been getting information right now that I really want to share with everybody at the GHBC is the social media route. You know, again, I brought up earlier how we were just sitting at home, just doing it for the likes and the followers. But what we've been doing is using that same texting that I told you about earlier, and we've been giving that to influencers to post in their story. So as an influencer, if you got 1 million followers and I just pay you $50 or $100 or whatever that amount is for you to post in your story, now that million people have the opportunity to text in for a chance to win. And with that, you begin getting customers all over the US. And again, if you have an online site, that's the best way to kind of grow your brand wholeheartedly and organically without having to be there and market to the people.
Mm-hmm. And when you're a busy entrepreneur, you need to be able to have some things working for you because you can't be everywhere all the time. So that's key. That's key. And do you find that the way to gather data through mobile devices is any different than like from an iPad or a website?
Wherever you're grabbing data from is you're grabbing data. Like if you're at an expo, you're going to get more customers with an iPad than you will with a sheet of paper as far as data collected. Because again, it's just more believable. When you go to some events, they may have a laptop and have it flipped around facing you, telling you to type your own information in. And people psychologically expect customer service. And if you want me to do it, you're not providing great customer service. And so I think it's up to you as a business owner or entrepreneur to figure out the best way to grab data from your industry or your customer. What we do is we do it all. I don't think there's no best. I just want it all. So I think, as long as you got a big, nice sized team, then everybody can do what they need to do instead of you just focusing on one particular way to grab data, because everything's important. It's just like marketing. A lot of people ask, like, what's the best way to market? Well, hey, we spent a lot of money on TV and radio, but if I could go back in time, I would have that text in at the bottom of that TV commercial. If I could go back in time, I would have that text in being screamed out on every radio station across America, because we don't want to do it for the exposure anymore. I want to do it for the data. It's way more important than people just knowing you exist. When you got the data, you don't have to hope that they know you exist. You can tell them you exist. You can text them. You can email them. You can communicate with them to the palm of their hand any day. Now, what you don't want to do is overdo it, because you get everybody unsubscribing. And so what I recommend is via email, those are more informative opportunities to kind of build a relationship, weekly, give information and not ask them to spend. You have to gently massage them and let them know that you're here for the long term. Don't unsubscribe. And then with the text blast, that's when you want to hit them in the face with it. You know what I'm saying? Black Friday sale, bam, come get it. Because you're hitting them with it on Thursday before Thanksgiving or the day of Thanksgiving. So
Right.
that text message that they're receiving the day of or that morning is only going to alert them to come shop with you, because psychologically they're already expecting to do it anyway. And the
Right.
same thing with back to school sales. Again, it's up to you to figure out what part of the forecast you want to send your text blast out on.
Mhm.
What part of the forecast you want to send your email blast out on. You can't ride every wave. You got to pick and choose which waves to ride. We strategically ride the waves that we created. Before She's Happy jumped into the hair industry, there were no Black Friday sales. There were no back to school sales. There were no graduation and prom sales. We created it. And so when we created it, we created the wave, and now we're kind of leading the way with it, also controlling the market, the data, and all those other things that you see in our industry.
Well, obviously, you all have a strong marketing team. You have a strong marketing mind. So I hope, again, you all please take notes. Please take notes on this, because what Marcus is talking about is transferable to your business. And, he has a big heart. He wants our chamber members to get this information and be able to use it. So make sure you are taking great notes. We have several members in the chamber who are service oriented. They don't necessarily have a product, but they have great services. So what can business owners do with this data who are service oriented?
Actually, I think it's all the same. I think business is business when referring to data. It's just that, although business is business, when you have data, you can make way more money in the product industry than you will in the service industry, because the service industries, you have to be there. The product industries, you don't have to be there. So if I got your data, I can tell you to purchase from me from the other side of the world. if I got your data, I still have to provide this service to you, sometimes in person, unless it's a digital service. But most services are forward-facing jobs or forward-facing industries where you're touching, you're actually providing that service. Again, data is data, and the most important thing is your customer or potential customers knowing that you exist. So if you don't have the data, then you can't tell them that you exist. I don't care what industry you're in. You could be in the diaper industry, service, product. You can sell spoons. If nobody knows you got spoons for the low, then you got to go get the data to let them know. And I think it's important that once you get whatever data you have, to not always try to recreate the wheel. Like what we did as a firm is we have our data of people that love She's Happy Hair. And then our customers also love lashes. And so instead of trying to go recreate the wheel, we're just able to use our current data to add in new products and just keep growing our product line and keep growing our revenue and just keep being the #1 virgin hair supplier, but also being known for more than just hair. So every product that we can add to our product line, as long as our customer base are in tune with it, we're going to continue to grow. That's where you see the shampoo, the conditioner, the edge control, and the great customer service.
So what did the data do to assist you in growing all those different product lines?
Glad you asked that. So once we started She's Happy Hair, and you get to know your customer based on what you see them wearing, what you see them purchasing, their automatic human reaction to the market. And the market's going to tell you what your customer wants. Either you can look at the market and they'll tell you what your customer wants, or you can ask your customer. You can do surveys, and common sense would told us that, hey, if you're selling hair, they need other things to go with this hair. If you don't sell it, somebody else is going to sell it. And so again, instead of us allowing those same customers to go to beauty supply stores or any of our competitors to get edge control, we just figured out a way to implement it in our company the right way. We actually had research done, been to the labs. It's a whole team of laboratory rats that's getting our products to the way that it is. So once with that, we get the data, or we already have the data, it's easy for us to connect to that client or that customer and let them know we also sell shampoo. We also sell lashes. And the lashes only came because I saw that people were spending $30 for lashes online. I was like, hey, that's what they doing? And so we immediately went overseas, flew over there, met with the suppliers, and came back with the best mink lashes found in America, and not selling them for $30. We're selling them for like 15, 16, much more valuable, much more price that you can actually afford, because we don't need all of that. We're just trying to continue building our database and building the brand recognition. And again, you can just continue adding products along the way as long as you have that data.
Right. So having that cell phone number or having that email address is an automatic door for you to text somebody and say, hey, we have edge control.
We open.
Hey, we have shampoo. Automatically.
Hey.
And so you can continue to look at the market, see what's hot, see what people are buying, and raise your hand and be able to say, hey, we have this too, and ours is better because of X, and our price point is more amenable to you.
And even if they don't click on your email, that when they're subscribing to your newsletter, they're still scrolling by and seeing it weekly.
You're right.
Weekly. And so even in the service industry, I may not need insurance. I may not need some of these services that you might be providing or asking me to come spend my money on. But if I'm scrolling, I'm still thinking about you whenever I do think about it. And so I just think it's important to just find that consistency and just stay in their hearts, because that's really what's important. We don't only collect the information that I said. I think birthdays are important too. We also collect birthdays. It's a way for you and your industry to find out what's the extra perk as far as data that you need to collect as well. So we got the phone numbers, the names, the emails, and everything else. But birthdays matter to us because we're able to send out a happy early birthday text where you can save 5 or 10% on your birthday products, on your birthday hair, on whatever it is you want to look like, whoever you want to be for the weekend, you can come get happy,
Right, exactly. So like you said, either a product or a service, you can use the data, the email address, the way you contact these people to find out what they like You know, what is their sweet spot? What is that wow factor that makes them come to your business versus going to someone else's business?
Yeah.
So this is why data collection is so important. And that goes into customer service. Wouldn't you say, Marcus?
Definitely, definitely. Without the data, you don't know what your customers want. You know, the data is going to tell you what your customers want. Again, the data told us, you know, exactly what our customers wanted, and we consistently go and get exactly what the customers tell us to get. Along with that, you know, surveys matter. I just think it's more important to do surveys now than ever, because a lot of entrepreneurs, they try to jump into the industry kind of like we did with a couple $100, and they spend that couple $100 on a product, not knowing if that's what the people want. You know, you can't go get it because you think that that's what the people want. You got to know that whatever you about to spend this initial investment on, this is what the people want. And when we spent our money on the first batch of bundles, we knew that that was what the people wanted.
And how were you able to decide that? Did you already have some data collected that informed your decision, or how were you able to do that?
Just being confident, you know, being just young, hungry entrepreneurs. Way back in 2012, we were able to just one post on social media. Instagram was brand new. Again, I brought up Craigslist. And when we were meeting people based off the pictures that they saw in the middle of parking lots around the city, we were just putting out the product and listening to the customer. You know, the customer was telling us what we should have, what we shouldn't have. They were introducing us to Brazilian body wave and introducing us to some of those things that we might not have known about as far as the names and the research and the lingo, because the names and the research and the lingo is all created by people. You know, the product is the product, and everything else is created, whether it's your brand name, the color of your logo, or what plastic bottle is going to come in. All those things are created. That's the brand. I think the product is the product. So we knew we had the most awesome product ever. We just had to know the lingo. And once we learned the lingo, we just started creating everything else around it. And that's what you see now.
And so the data that you gathered from those in-person conversations and from surveys has helped you to improve your products and introduce new products into the marketplace, right?
Yes, all day. Along with that, we have automated customer service review links that go out to our customers that actually come in store. So instead of us having to hope and wish that our customers or our team is going to remind the customers, hey, if you feel like you received the most awesomest customer service ever, please leave us a review. Instead of asking for that, we automatically send them a link maybe a day or two after purchase and just hope that they give us an awesome review. And most of the time, if not all the time, it's nothing but great reviews.
And you can't be afraid to ask for the review, right, Marcus? You can't be afraid.
Don't be afraid, but hey, don't depend either. You know what I'm saying? You want to make sure that you're asking for it. So set up that automation, and you don't have to worry about that.
You brought up a good point earlier when you spoke about awareness versus, how did you phrase that? You said you were more interested in being able to contact the people than having awareness.
Yep.
And can you expand on that? Because it didn't sound, go ahead.
So right now we live in a society where people just want to be seen. You know, you look on social media, no matter what platform you're on, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, MySpace, Black Planet, whatever you want to hop on. Everybody just want to be seen. And so a lot of people that are being seen are doing it just for that, just for the exposure. We know social media influencers or famous people that look like they got it. And they got a lot of likes, you know what I'm saying? They got a lot of followers, but they don't have they're not monetizing it. And so I think the one way to monetize it is to take those followers and those likes and transform them into customers. And the one way to transform them into customers is not by continually posting on Instagram, because all they gonna do is like it again. All they gonna do is follow some more. But if you get that data and you talking to them via email in a platform from a way that they're used to spending money, if you're texting them from a way that they're used to spending money with links, with a certain reaction codes or whatever it is that you might need to move your customer, you'll see a total difference. You see a huge difference, and you will find out that you're no longer doing it just for the likes. You're no longer doing it just for the followers. You're no longer doing it just for the exposure, because even I brought up earlier, if we could go back in time, you know what I'm saying? All those ads, in which we still do ads all over the US. If we could go back in time, putting your ad on the TV is one thing. Putting your ad on the radio is another thing. But if you're not collecting data from all of that money spent from those ads, you're losing. And so I want to make sure that if you don't remember anything else I say today, remember that. You know, you want to be able to gain data from whatever exposure you're doing, because that's where the money at. That's where the transactions take place.
Mm-hmm. And again, the data is text, phone numbers or mobile phones. It's email addresses. Is there anything else that should
Yes.
be?
Yeah, it's phone numbers, it's email addresses, it's birthdays. It can be your home address. I was talking to one of my peers who owns a daycare here on the north side of Houston. And because they own a daycare, the government has been giving them the opportunity to provide food to the community. And so people from all over the community has been coming to this brand new daycare to eat. And the only thing that the government is asking for is names and birthdays. And so they've been collecting names and birthdays from everybody in this community for this new daycare, because that's what the government told them to do. I talked to him last night and I told him, hey, that's what they telling you to do. What you should do is collect the names, the birthdays, the emails, the phone numbers, and everything else that you can use to tell them to come back. Because once they come, it's up to you to tell them to come back. And the only way to tell them to come back instead of hoping for it is by having that data. It's just so important.
Yes. There you have it. There you have it, everyone. And, you know, I don't think he could have said it any plainer. You have to get the data. It's not enough to be known and for people to know you. You have to get the data so that you can reach out to them and ask them to patronize your business. So last question before we wrap up. Can you list again some of the tools that you've used, or some other tools that our listeners can use to collect data?
Yes. So again, a lot of people use Constant Contact. Of course, MailChimp is everybody's go-to. We use Slick Text. There's Mobile Storm. There's Everywhere. There's, all you have to do is click on, think about whatever subscription emails you receive. Scroll to the bottom of that email and see who they use. When you click on there and you go to their site, read up on their site. See if that's the amount of money you want to spend. See if they do the things that you needed to do. If they don't, type in that specific name, MailChimp versus, and then all type of other links will come up for competitors that are doing e-blast and competitors that are doing text blast, and you find one within your budget, which some are free, and then you make it happen.
And we love free, as long as free is effective. And I know you would not be using anything free that was not effective, Marcus.
Not at all.
So thank you for your time today. And GHBC, we are excited to say that we'll be working with Mr. Marcus Bowers on something to help you grow your businesses during COVID-19 and beyond. So just stay tuned. We're going to give everyone information about that. We appreciate him as a past Pinnacle Award winner. She's Happy Hair, reaching out to the chamber and saying, hey, this is what I have to offer, and I'm willing to share it with you all to help other businesses grow. So look out for that. Marcus, how can people keep up with you?
Of course, I'm on every type of social media platform. Before I do shout out my social media platform, my true reason for doing this is because She's Happy Hair, not just the store or the team, but the foundation. We always give back to the community. And so during a time like this, it's hard to be out and give back because you're kind of risking your life doing so. And so we were just sitting around pondering ways of still making an impact. And this is one of the biggest ways. I really feel as if you're taking notes or you're going to implement some of these things that we talked about, the next pandemic, you're not going to be worried about anything. All you're going to be doing is growing your database, for whenever they tell us that we can go outside and play, you're going to have a lot more customers to talk to while everybody else have been sitting on their hands doing nothing. So just kind of keep that in mind. And if you want to find out more about what I'm doing and how I'm doing it, or even with the team, follow me on everything, Marcus Bowers TV, MarcusBowers TV. That's Marcus Bowers TV. Again, Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, LinkedIn. I'm on everything.
And make sure you follow him. You're going to learn a lot. Follow She's Happy Hair. Go to their website on all things social media. Make sure you keep up with what they're doing with the She's Happy Hair Foundation, giving back to the community, young people, helping them realize their dreams. So make sure you follow them and keep up. And yes, Marcus.
And text the word happy to 888-111 for your chance to win free hair for a year.
Say it one more time.
Again, happy to 888-111 for your chance to win free hair for a year. Yeah.
See, there you go. There you have it. And make sure you keep up with the Greater Houston Black Chamber, because we always want to bring you information that you can use. We have our COVID-19 updates on our website at GHBCC.com. That's GHBCC.com. And on our social media at Houston Black Chamber or Greater Houston Black Chamber. We want you to support our businesses. We need you at this time. So visit HoustonByBlack.com. That's HoustonByBlack.com, where we have just about every industry represented for you to be able to receive products and services from our members. And your investment will help them and help the chamber to grow. So we look forward to seeing you next time on Chamber Chat. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you again to Mr. Marcus Bowers of She's Happy Hair. And we look forward to our future endeavors with you, sir. Thank you. And thank you everyone again for joining us. Have a great day.